The moment you understand some things about the bookmakers and the gambling industry in general, you will surely change your betting and gambling habits. So if you want to know who are you in the bookies' eyes, watch this video. Nowadays, technology in general is at levels that most people don't have a clue. Behind the scenes of the bookies and the casinos, hundreds of thousands of mathematical analyses are being done every second over the bets over every single player on a given platform to ensure that the house will win in the end. Check out the video How Casinos Make Money, whose scheme applies to the bookies as well. But the goal is not just to make money, but to make as much money as possible. So the house is obliged to secure the maximum profit no matter the circumstances and the consequences for the customer. Players fall into the different categories when starting to bet at a bookmaker. To a large extent, their category depends on the amount of their win or loss. For example, if a customer loses 1 million euros at a bookmaker, he necessarily becomes a VIP. That is a very important customer, and the house does everything possible to keep him and continue to profit from his losses. Of course, there is also the opposite option with the problem customer, which is what we are and our clients at betting on, whose accounts are constantly being limited due to the fact that we are not profitable in any way for the bookmakers, as in the long run we cannot be at a loss due to our method of playing with value bets. It's like casinos banning people who count cards on blackjack and do it successfully because it's clear that they have an advantage over the house, and that's unacceptable for it. Problem customers don't stick around much at the bookie because the necessary steps are always taken to stop them. The level of how a risk customer is determined by an algorithm. These algorithms are constantly being improved and upgraded to that the professionals are caught and weeded out as quickly as possible, and the losers and amateurs are subjected to all sorts of psychological tricks to get them to keep betting. The scheme was brilliant and worked perfectly, which explains all this popping up of new and new bookmakers. Like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to get useful information about the betting world and how to beat the bookies and understand betting. If you want to profit in the long run from value betting, visit our site bettingnon.com. Bookmakers view customers from different countries differently. If there is a group of people with similar characteristics and actions in a bookmaker from particular country, then these people can be put on the radar as some kind of syndicate trying to outsmart the system. This is why often the limiting of accounts happens in a short time, so there are periods of purge. Did you know that gambling is one of the most used industries for money laundering? When there are 20 new people joining a bookmaker within 20 or 30 minutes with similar details, it's usually just that, but interestingly, it's often done by people from the inside bookmaker itself. On top of that, the people who are at a lower level, that in the majority of the staff, for example those who work in the customer support, usually don't get much of the lion's pie that the company eats on a daily basis. In most cases, these are indoctrinated and very skillfully selected staff to do the boring work. Realistically, people don't think that by losing on their money in the bookmaker, they are not just losing, they are supporting some selfish and practically vulgar institutions that don't care about the people. Their only goal is to grow and break more and more people's lives. That is to say, their function is something like a black hole. On top of that, these businesses have influenced the most of any other businesses in the sports themselves and changed them forever, and not for the better, because the impact they have on the sports is much greater than you think.